So hello and welcome to another episode of Adventure Bike Pilot. On this episode I just want to go through an item that I've just recently purchased again for the bike, and it's this new Cymarc TFT anti-theft brace. So there's been an awful lot of reports going around about the TFT screen on the dash of the BMWs being stolen. Apparently they're extremely easy to be taken off the bike when it's parked up or left alone, and they're being sold on the black market. So to try and avoid that, I've seen these braces, these anti-theft braces from Cymarc, Cymarc, I think it's called. And it's a piece of metal that gets put onto the bike. It fits over the TFT and it just means that it can't be ripped out. The TFT monitors themselves are quite expensive to replace. I think they're about 900 to 1,000 euros to replace. For the sake of a few quid and a bit of installation on this to stop anyone from taking it off the bike, I thought this would be well worth it. Now, if you are buying one, what I would suggest is there's two versions of it. This one is the standard version. I thought I'd actually bought one with a little sun visor on it that comes out over the top to keep the light shining from the screen and causing a glare. But I accidentally picked the standard one. So definitely keep an eye on that if you're ordering. If you're ordering from Cymarc, there are a couple of other places that do them, but Cymarc seem to be the best. They're based in the UK. These are handmade and they're made to order, so it's not a stock item. So if you're buying one, it can take, I think it took nearly a month for this one to arrive. So just be conscious of the fact that it is actually handmade. They make it to order, and it will take a little bit of time to get to you. But I think it's worth the wait. You know, the thing now that I'm going to have to do is install this in the bike. It doesn't look like it's too easy to install. It's not just a plug and play. Obviously, as it's an anti-theft, it can't be easy to put on, otherwise it'd be easy to take off. It looks like I'm going to have to take off at least some part of the front fairing. It comes with its own set of nuts and bolts, etc. I don't know if you have to use them all. I think these are just extra long bolts to account for the additional length required to install this in. It also comes with these little felt things that will go around the edge of the brace itself, so that it doesn't, scratch or damage the screen when it's in place. These hooks obviously go into one of the metal brackets around the dash, and then they're locked into place so that the screen literally physically can't be taken off. Now, obviously, I'm sure if there's a committed thief, they'll get it off like any lock. They can really only slow them down. If they want it, they'll get it. But I just thought that this would be a good addition to reduce the likelihood of the TFT getting stolen off the bike when I'm traveling. So we'll go out and we'll have a look at what's involved in installing this now and see if we can get it on. Talk to you in a minute.
A few moments later.
So it looks like I have to take this black fairing here off, this bit here, to get in at the TFT monitor. So from what I can see, because I have the screen guard, there's 2 bolts here at the front, and then there's one here at the side, and then this should just lift off. So I have this screen up into the upper position. So I've taken 1 bolt off already. Let's go and do the other one and see how we get on. Okay, so that lifted out much easier than I thought. Just be careful of these little nuts that go into the front, that they don't pop out and fall down into the bike like I nearly just did. But yeah, came out quite easy. So the next section is to get these 2 bolts here out on both sides, and then we should be able to slide on the new bracket. So I'm just undoing the 2 bolts on this side. They're actually quite easy to get to. The only thing you need to be careful of is if the nut at the back or the bolt itself falls down into the bike, like it just did there. Luckily, it fell onto the ground. Get one of these little magnetic reachers just in case that happens. So the thing I'll need to ascertain is if these bolts are long enough to go through with the additional bit of metal in between. So now let's take these two off. Again, be careful with the nuts behind them. Gotcha. Bolt out. Now we get these little felt pieces, and they go onto the back here so that when it's on, it doesn't crack or scratch the screen. So we'll do that now.
A few moments later.
So now the bits of felt are on. So this should now just slide in and we're good to go. So you can see the shape of the screen should match the shape of the bracket. Yeah, so it looks to me like the original bolts are long enough to get into it. I'm just getting the nuts on for the moment, and we'll tighten them up when we get in position. I forgot to line the original bracket that holds this back up with the hole for the bolt. Yeah, once you line that back up, you definitely need the longer bolts. Sorry about that, folks. The old camera battery died. So one thing I did notice is that the felt that you put in underneath here, you need to get a razor blade and cut it back, because once it's in place, it sticks out and makes it look a bit messy. So I took the opportunity while I was recharging the camera there to just get a blade and just strip it away as best I could. It's still not great, but it's better than it was. So we'll try and get these bolts back in, get the piece of fairing back on, and we're good to go. So that's that. Like I said, it's very important to line up the original bracket hole with the new bracket. Otherwise, you'll have to do what I did and start again. I've got the wrong Allen key head here. So these are kind of tricky to get in at. That's why you're better switching to the slightly longer bolts, at least on one side. I haven't tightened anything up yet, just getting them into position. Right, so I've got all the nuts and bolts back in position. I'll just make sure the bracket itself is level on the screen. Okay, I think that's good. So now I'll just tighten them all up. Just putting the two front nuts back on. So that's it installed. A little bit easier than I thought it was going to be, but certainly a bit more finicky than anything, just getting in and out at the bolts. But it's straightforward enough. 2 bolts at the front here, 2 at the side, black piece of fairing comes out, and then 2 at either side of the mounting bracket here where your sat nav goes on, and then it just slides on, and then that's just connected all back up again, and that's it. Be careful, you know, make sure you get the felt that goes on the inside of it to stop it from scratching, and trim that back before you put it into place, and make a nice neat job of it. But other than that, it was pretty straightforward. I'm not very good at all of this stuff, so the fact that I can do it means anybody could do it. A 2-year-old could do it. So that's really good. So that's 2 good jobs I got done today between the anti-theft bracket and the USB ports installed onto the bike. So trying to make as good a use of time as we can during this lockdown. So if you've any thoughts on this, let us know. Let me know if you've used this product before, what you think about it. I definitely would have preferred the one with the little sun visor on it. But I'll give you a look at the dash now lit up to show that it's not obstructing anything and that everything is still clearly visible. I could probably have lined it up a little bit better, but I'll do that later. I just wanted to show the installation of it at the moment. But other than that, job done. Please like and subscribe, and let me know what you feel about it. Take care. So you can see nothing has been obstructed by the bracket around the screen. I could do it with lining it up a little bit better on this side, but I'll do that later. But overall, pretty happy with it. It'll make any would-be thieves' job a little harder to try and get that TFT screen off. So, job done.